Live from rainy Halford Stadium in Clarkston, Georgia, it's the Nissan High School Football Game of the Week on CSS, where tonight the 5th-ranked Marist War Eagles take on the 3rd-ranked Southwest Dekalb Panthers. And as we take a look at the Region 6 Quad A standings, you see the significance of tonight's ball game. With a victory, Marist is the overwhelming favorite to go on and win their 22nd region championship. Southwest Dekalb, if they win tonight, they're in the driver's seat, but they still have tough remaining games against Stone Mountain and number 7 Tucker. Both are 5-1 in the region. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by Roswell State Championship coach Tim McFarland. And Tim, thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you, glad to be here.
Looking forward to a great ball game, Coach. We got two of the best coaches in the state of Georgia matching wits tonight. Buck Godfrey on the Southwest Dekalb sideline. And for Marist, it's Alan Chadwick. He's the active, winningest coach in the state of Georgia. He's won close to 86% of his games.
Alan's done a terrific job. He has built what is probably the premier private school program in the state of Georgia. Alan has, for many years, been committed to the wishbone. They've been doing it since he's been there. And they do it well.
Buck Godfrey, on the other hand, is the all-time winningest coach in DeKalb County public school history.
Buck has done a terrific job here at Southwest DeKalb. Again, a premier program, probably one of the top public schools, if not the public school in DeKalb County. And Buck, you know, the thing that impresses you about Buck is his commitment to the student and the student athlete.
Southwest Dekalb has been down for a while relative to their standards. Although they made it to the state quarterfinals a year ago, they feel like their program is back on the rise, and they are loaded with college talent, starting with two young men who are committed to the University of Georgia. We'll begin with defensive end TJ Stripling. He is the number 4 rated defensive end in the nation.
Stripling's a big guy. He can run fast. At defensive end at 6'6", 220 pounds. He'll be a force for them to contend with tonight. He's averaging about 10 tackles per game, and he's already recorded 15 sacks on the season.
He is a Rivals 4-star defensive end. Ken Malcolm is a Rivals 4-star running back, and he's committed to the University of Georgia as well.
Ken Malcolm's the real deal. He's 6'1", 210 pounds. Georgia's already got him wrapped up. He's rushed for about 1,000 yards this year, and if he can get to the second level tonight against Marist, they'll be in trouble.
Now, while Marist doesn't have the big-time college football recruits that, say, Southwest Dekalb does, they win with a system that's been in place since Alan Chadwick became the head coach. Their quarterback, Andy Perez, is the 3rd family member from the Perez family to quarterback at Marist.
Andy's a terrific quarterback. It all starts with him. He knows the system. He's probably known this since he was 5 years old. My understanding from Alan is that he was a ball boy years ago, and he's grown up knowing this. He'll be the key for Marist tonight.
And to top that off, they've got Sam McNerney and Patrick Sullivan in the backfield and at safety. Both those guys are 3-year starters. They know the playbook backwards and forwards.
Yeah, Patrick Sullivan in particular. He's a tough kid, a baseball player. Right now, he's the leading receiver from for Marist from the backfield. A tough kid, probably not on anybody's Division I list. I think he's only 5'8", 160 pounds, but he's the guy that makes things happen for them in the backfield.
It's the number 5 Marist War Eagles and the number 3 Southwest Dekalb Panthers. The War Eagles have won 5 in a row in the series, and the Panthers haven't won in the series since 1973. It's a rainy night in DeKalb County, but the cheerleaders arriving in style in limos tonight. Back with the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Now we got rain coming down all night. We got the band going wild. This place sounds like a college football stadium. But I want you to think about this for just 1 minute. We have a public school versus private school battle going on tonight in DeKalb County. Now look deeper than that. That means Marist, a private school. They're able to reel in anybody they want to. How about Southwest DeKalb? They have to deal with the openings of Stevenson and MLK. Took a bunch of athletes off the football field. Matt, somehow this team keeps on winning. It's a tradition around here. Matt, these guys are really good in this atmosphere. You can't ask for anything else on a Friday night.
You're absolutely right, Mark, and we're looking forward to that. And, Coach, let's take a look at our Nissan keys to the game.
Well, first of all, Marist has got to avoid 3rd and long. If they can have positive yards on 1st down, they'll be in pretty good shape. They'll be able to play keep away and keep Southwest DeKalb's potent offense off the field. For Southwest DeKalb, they've got to get Malcolm going. He's the heart and soul of this football team. If he can run the ball and have positive yards on 1st down, they'll be in pretty good shape. Special teams is going to be a big key. Southwest DeKalb has the ability to break any kick at any time, be it a punt or a kickoff. So Marist is going to have to really, really pay attention to what they're doing with their kicking game. A field goal may be the difference here tonight.
Well, we'll see how things unfold here over the next 48 minutes. This is the 16th all-time meeting between these two teams in a series that dates back to 1954. Marist leads the series 10-5. They've won the last 5. The last meeting, Marist won last year at Hugh Spalding Stadium 27-21. The last Southwest DeKalb win in the series was 1973, but you'll remember there was a 29-year hiatus in the series. So while it's been a long time since the Panthers won in the series, it sounds maybe a little bit worse than it is. Southwest DeKalb in their gold uniforms tonight, trimmed in blue, and the Marist War Eagles in their white jerseys and navy blue pants, trimmed in gold. And the kickoff's going to be taken by Sullivan at the 10-yard line. And Patrick Sullivan right up the middle to about the 29, and that's where the Marist War Eagles will start on offense, led by their junior quarterback, Andy Perez, number 10. Saw his numbers a few moments ago. That's his passing numbers on the season. 34 of 58 for 636, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's rushed for 452 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he is the third Perez to quarterback this Marist team. His uncle and his father were also quarterbacks for the War Eagles.
Man, it'll be interesting to see how Marist attacks Stripling. I have a feeling they'll be going away from him for the majority of the time tonight.
The problem with that, coach, is they've got number 24, Terrence Smith, a fine junior defensive end on the other side. So Stripling, number 15, you see he's 6'6" and lined up on the edge at the bottom of your screen. Handoff goes to Connors, the fullback, and Connors, the fullback, gets maybe 1 yard on the play. Go lightly. Did not go lightly and made the tackle. As we take a look at the War Eagles on offense, brought to you by Charter, Olderman, Brigham, Nagel, Nordun, and Williams up front. Connors, the fullback, just had the carry. Sullivan and McNerney are the halfbacks. Snelling's the wide receiver. And Crawford, he's a good one, is the tight end. So second down now and 8. That's Sullivan in motion, and again Connors gets the handoff right up the middle. Not much doing on the play. The tackle, Isaiah Cook, made the tackle for the Panthers. As we take a look at the Panthers on defense, brought to you by Charter, Stripling, Cook, Carney, Harrison, and Smith up front. The linebackers, Wakeel and Allen. And in the secondary, Mincy, Golightly, Dixon, and Robinson.
Matt, the exchange on that second down play looked a little difficult for Andy to get the ball off to Matt. I don't know if he was trying to pull it or leave it. These are the situations we said Marist will have to avoid. They're facing 3rd and 6 here against a really good Southwest DeKalb secondary.
And they line up in the wishbone formation this time. Perez hit and dropped in the backfield. No running room for Perez as he got dropped for a loss on the play. The linebacker, Torrin Davis, and it's 4th down and long.
Well, 3 and out, I'm sure, is not what Alan Chadwick wanted on that series. Marist is going to have to punt the ball now to a very dangerous Southwest DeKalb return team.
Jonathan Mincy and Marquez Dixon deep for the Panthers. Mincy number 21 and Dixon number 1. And Justin Moore, who's a fine punter, Rivals 2-star punter who's already committed to Miami of Ohio. He punts and kicks for this War Eagles team. He's got a big assignment tonight. Fair catch is called for by Dixon and made at the 41-yard line. So the Panthers with very good field position for their first possession on offense, and our first chance to see their quarterback in action. Number 3, Stephen Coates, a 6'2", 200-pound senior who was injured on the very first play of the season against MLK and just returned in last week's victory over Lithonia. That's why his numbers are so low. 10 of 16 passing for 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the 41-yard line. And the handoff goes to Malcolm. And Malcolm, big hole, close to 9-yard gain on the play for Ken Malcolm up to the 50-yard line. As we take a look at the Panthers on offense, brought to you by Charter, Evans, Thomas, Sargent, Wakeel, and Carney up front. Malcolm, who just got the ball as the tailback, Lewis the fullback, Ayers the split end, Davis the wing back, and Goodwin is the tight end. So 2nd down and 1 after a big 9-yard pickup for Ken Malcolm, who came in with 907 yards on the season through 7 games.
It was a great surge by the offensive line of Southwest DeKalb. They did a nice job of getting off the football and knocking Marist off the ball, allowing, for good positive yards on 1st down.
So 2nd down and 1. And already the referees had to tell the Southwest DeKalb band to be quiet. 5-yard pickup for Malcolm on the play, and that's a 1st down. So 14 yards for Malcolm on his first 2 carries of the ball game. Here's a look at the Marist defense up front, brought to you by Charter, Carroll, Anderson, Wood, and Williams. Linebackers Becker, Carlock, and Homrich. And in the secondary, Davenport, Sullivan, McNerney, who just made the tackle, and Snellings. Here's a look at the 1st down carry and a big hole.
In the I-back formation, the fullback is such an unsung hero, and Anthony Allen's doing a terrific job so far in the Southwest.
Malcolm gets his 3rd carry, cuts through the defense, picks another 6 or 7 yards up, and he is just hard to bring down. He's not only strong, but elusive. That's his numbers coming into the ball game. He's now over 20 yards on the night on his first 3 carries.
That's great patience by Malcolm, too, picking his holes and not getting ahead of his blockers.
Great vision by Malcolm on that run. That was a good example of it right there. He averages 129.6 yards per game, and he scored 14 touchdowns. He leads DeKalb County in yards per game. He's tied for the rushing touchdown lead in the count. Fullback this time, and Anthony Allen didn't have a whole lot of running room as the linebacker Cole Becker came up to make the stop. And it's going to be 2nd down. Anthony Allen, only 4 carries for 16 yards on the season. So you see they're trying to hit him with the element surprise right there after 3 straight carries by Malcolm.
This is probably 4-down territory for Southwest DeKalb. They've got 3rd and short. If they don't get this, I'm sure we'll see them go for it.
It's 3rd down and a short 3 from the 36. Malcolm gets the rock. Malcolm will not get the 1st down. Great penetration by the linebacker on that play. Keller Carlock, the Mike linebacker, and it's 4th down.
Keller did a great job of getting up under the blocker. Did a super job of hanging in there and making the play for negative yards.
Number 41, Keller Carlock, team leading 45 tackles on the season for the War Eagles, 26 solos, 3 tackles for loss, and just stopped Malcolm in his tracks at the 36. So now it's 4th down, and you're right, Coach, it is 4th down territory, and they're going for it with a stacked backfield.
This would be a big momentum swing for Marist if they can make this play.
Coming this way is Davis, and Davis gets the 1st down. They gave it to the wingback, Torrin Davis. He picks up the 1st down with about a 6-yard carry.
And he did that on his own, too, Matt. That was a terrific job. The 2nd effort got the 1st down for him.
Great move by Dixon to kick it outside. Sullivan finally came up and made the tackle, but it's 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 30-yard line. And you got to wonder, Coach, it's not a cool October evening. It's kind of muggy out there. And remember, we've talked about Sullivan and McNerney. They're going both ways. So that could be a factor before the night is through. Becker making the tackle that time as they tried to give the ball to Malcolm again. And Malcolm actually lost some yardage on that play.
He did. Randy Carroll at defensive end, number 64, did a super job there. He created the pile that stifled the running back, and the other Marist guys were able to make the tackle.
That was a nice job by Cole Becker, the 5'8", 165-pound linebacker. Patrick Sullivan, that's his numbers on the season, but it was Becker, number 23, who made the tackle. 2nd down and 11. First pass attempt by Coates under a heavy rush. Flags are down, and the field breaks down, and he takes off running. Inside the 15 and down to the 6 before being tackled by McNerney, but it's probably all coming back if that flag ends up being a holding call, and that's usually what it is when the flag's laying in the backfield like that.
I believe it was. Marist caught a break on that. They've got to contain the quarterback. This is where Southwest DeKalb is particularly dangerous.
Art Williams is your referee tonight, and you saw him indicate that it was a chop block. Buck Godfrey seems a little puzzled by the call. All right.
Yeah, that was by the running back.
Yeah, that's not a chop block. That's just a block below the knees.
Yeah, he was cutting there, and that's illegal in high school football. It's a good call by the officials.
But by definition, a chop block is when a defender is engaged by two offensive players, one high, one low. So the penalty, instead of having the ball at the 6-yard line, they're back to their own 46. So in essence, about a 40-yard penalty on the Panthers. Coates standing in the pocket, firing downfield and misfiring. Not quite sure who he might have been going to right there. Mincy was that receiver, but I don't know that he was even the intended receiver. I think he might have been trying to go to somebody even underneath that.
Yeah, he was trying to hit the underneath route. This is exactly what Marist would hope for at 3rd and long. It's just going to be critical they don't let anybody behind them now and get good pressure on the quarterback. But at the same time, you want to be careful not to flush him.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 26 from the 46.
Might be a good time for a draw play, Matt.
Yeah, the fullback, Anthony Allen, splits to the bottom of your screen. They are going to throw the ball, and they throw it to Marquez Dixon. Dixon can make people miss when he gets in the open, and he gives them a situation where they've got a shot to go for it on 4th down as he gets it back to the 25-yard line.
That was great yardage, throwing the ball underneath and letting the receiver do what he does best, and that's make Marist miss tackles.
That's just the 5th catch of the year for Dixon, but he is so versed at being able to get into the open field when things break down. He's got 5 returns for touchdowns, 4 kicks, and an interception. And what he did by getting 20 yards on that play is give him a 4th and 6 and a shot to get it back here on this final play of the possession. Coach to the air and incomplete. Trying to get it to Mincy at the 5-yard line, and the ball goes over on downs.
It's a great series for Marist, even though they've still got the ball deep in their own territory. To get a stop there when Southwest DeKalb was that deep is good for them. They'll come away with this feeling like they've got a chance to move the ball now. They're going to have to get positive yards again on 1st down and make things happen. They cannot afford to be looking at 3rd and long.
Well, the War Eagles take over at the 25-yard line as they come up with a big stop. And remember, the penalty by the Panthers, or on the Panthers, really killed them. They would have had the ball 1st and goal at the 6. Perez tosses to McNerney, and McNerney out to the 33-yard line before being dropped by the linebacker, Naeem Wakil, but close to a 1st down on the carry by McNerney.
It was a great job by Perez forcing the issue with the defensive end. You know, the key to the option is to make the defensive end take the quarterback so it frees him up to pitch the ball. Southwest DeKalb did not have anybody on force on the running back. I think the force man actually came up to take the quarterback, and that allowed for a 7-yard gain.
You see McNerney's numbers on the season, 258 yards rushing, over 9 yards per carry as the War Eagles pick up the 1st down on that play right there with a 3-yard gain. Again, it was McNerney who got it.
Well, left tackle and left guard for Marist. That's Olderman and Brigham did a super job getting Southwest DeKalb moved off the ball on that play.
And Alan Chadwick, who you just saw a moment ago, very excited about Olderman and Brigham. Both of them very young. Olderman just a junior and Brigham a sophomore, but both of them already considered to be major college prospects in the future. Olderman 6'3", 225 at left tackle, and Brigham 6'3", 230 at left guard. And Perez got hammered. Lost his helmet on the play too. Stripling was there to greet him. Wow, Stripling's just a beast. He cannot go unblocked.
He is. You know, you've got to control him with the option. Perez probably, if he had to do that over, would have left the ball with the fullback. And I'm sure as many years as he's been in the program, they're reading that, Matt. I'm sure at the line of scrimmage, that's totally in Perez's hands as to whether or not he's going to leave it or pull it.
And you can see the weather has really deteriorated over the last couple of minutes, and the rain is coming down hard, and that's when Marist elects to throw their first pass of the ball game. They got a man open and incomplete. Ball must have slipped out of Perez's hands because he didn't get the ball downfield, but they were looking for Davenport at the 35-yard line, and number 22, Penn Davenport, had gotten behind the defender.
He had. I'm not sure how he did. I thought that Marist did a great job of controlling the edge and keeping Stripling out of the play. And then the receiver was able to actually get behind the corner, but as you said, the ball's awfully wet out there. It's going to be hard to throw the ball tonight.
Yeah, not only is it wet, he was also trying to throw on the run. So
right.
It's hard for him to get a lot of juice on that pass downfield like that. And so now it's going to be 3rd down and 14. Pass thrown and incomplete. Trying to connect with Sullivan out there in another punting situation for the Marist War Eagles.
It was a good play. They had single coverage on that side, and the corner had followed the receiver inside, freeing up the flats for Sullivan. If they can make that connection, he had some running room.
So again, a very dangerous situation anytime you have to punt the ball to the Southwest DeKalb Panthers with Mincy and Dixon back there. And that's Marquez Dixon right there. 4 kick returns, 3 punt returns, actually 3 kickoff returns and 1 punt return for touchdown this season. He scored 6 touchdowns total. He's had a pass reception touchdown, and he's also had an interception return for a touchdown. And they kick it away from Dixon. Mincy will field it at the 26-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will go on offense for the second time in this ball game. 2:14 to play in the opening quarter of the Nissan High School Football Game of the Week scoreless here in DeKalb County. Quarter here at Halford Stadium in Clarkston, Georgia, and you can see the weather is not good. Hasn't slowed down the Southwest DeKalb fan, which is known as one of the best not only in the state of Georgia but in the entire nation, routinely making those New Year's Day holiday trips to play in the bowl game parades, and they are a show unto themselves. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Ball at their own 25-yard line. Malcolm following his blockers, and he's got some room to run. Better watch out. There he goes. Nobody's going to catch Ken Malcolm. A 74-yard touchdown run, and the Panthers are on the board first.
Man, I'm very impressed with his patience. He rides his blockers until he finds a hole, and then when he hits a crease, he's gone. You'll notice here, he follows his pulling guards, and then once he sees daylight, that's the second level we were talking about. Once he gets to the second level, he's just hard for them to handle. Marist is going to have to do a better job on the perimeter of stopping that.
Like a locomotive, 6'2", 210 senior barreled down the sideline on a 74-yard touchdown run. And now McCarthy is on for the PAT, and McCarthy had the kick blocked. He's only missed 1 PAT all season long. He had been the best public school kicker in DeKalb County, but he fails on that one. But Malcolm got him on the board from 74 yards out. The Panthers lead 6-0. 15th rushing touchdown of the season, and it's a big one too. 74 yards he goes to give the Southwest DeKalb Panthers a 6-0 lead. And Coach, here's another look at it.
Yeah, as we said, Carney, the right tackle, did a super job of pulling and getting to the outside, walling off the box for Marist. And that forces the corner up to come up and make a play, and that's probably not a very fair thing for him to have to do against Malcolm. But once again, I see, Malcolm has a lot of patience when he runs. He's a smart running back.
95 yards rushing on the night already for Malcolm, and that puts him at 1,002 yards for the season. McCarthy with the kickoff. It'll be taken by Sullivan. It's a good kick, taken at the 2. And Sullivan will not make it back to the 20 as he gets stopped at the 19-yard line.
Matt, going back to the touchdown, I think all of that is a product of poor field position by Marist. They've been deep in their own territory for the entire first quarter, having to kick the ball out to around midfield. And that just puts a lot of pressure on the defense to continually have to deal with Southwest DeKalb in their own territory.
We'll see, Coach, if Alan Chadwick's team can get this triple option rolling. Now, one of the great benefits to running this triple option is that teams don't get to practice against this very often, but this is a Southwest DeKalb team that by and large is the same team that played them last year. Right. So they know it a little bit better than most, so that might be an advantage for the Panthers tonight as Connors gets the carry and picks up about 3 yards on the play.
It definitely helps to see the offense. You have to play against it before you can play against it well. And I'm sure Southwest DeKalb has made adjustments since the first time they played Marist.
You see Connors, 61 carries, 359, an average of just under 6 a carry, and 8 touchdowns on the season. He got about 5 on that play, so 2nd down and 5. And, Coach, that's more to your liking as far as the Nissan keys to the game and the War Eagles needing to get a good, positive pickup on first down. McNearney stumbles forward close to the sticks. It'll be 3rd down and short coming up if he didn't pick up the first down on that carry.
One of the big keys to the game tonight with Southwest on defense is going to be Jabari Carney at nose tackle. So far, he's gotten really good movement off the ball, and his penetration's allowing Southwest DeKalb to get some decent stops against Marist.
There he is right there, number 53, Jabari Carney, a 6'1", 260 senior. 59 tackles on the season, 6 sacks, that's number 10 in the county, and a team leading 10 tackles for loss. In fact, they've got 3 guys in the top 10 in sacks in the county. The Panthers have a whopping 40 quarterback sacks coming into this ballgame.
Jabari's extremely quick for a guy 260 pounds. He'll, they may have to give some help to the center tonight by having the guards double team him.
It's 1st down and 10. McNearney did pick up a first down on that previous carry. You see the blitz shown here by Robinson, the cornerback. Then he drops out of it. There's the pitch to Sullivan, and they get that triple option rolling there, and they pick up a first down at the 40-yard line. Got some option going there. We're able to take advantage of some things out on the edge.
That was all Andy Perez. Andy's changing the line at changing the play at the line of scrimmage, allowing the Marist offense to get out of a bad situation and into a productive play. It's a nice job on the perimeter blocking too by the lead blocker.
So 2nd down, and we talked about Andy Perez and the fact that this young man has been around the Marist program all his life, was a ball boy since he could walk. His father is the 9th grade coach. His uncle is the offensive line coach. And so he is able to step up to the line of scrimmage and change the play when he takes a look at the defense and try to get them into some advantage situations.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the frustration that you may have felt early in the game on offense for Marist is just a product of this offense. Typically what they'll do is they'll run what they're going to run, and then they'll find holes and hit it.
Sullivan picks up 9 on the final play of the first quarter, and Marist will have the ball at the midfield stripe when we get back. We've played 12 minutes with the Panthers in the lead, 6-0. Damp night here at Halford Stadium in Clarkston, Georgia, where number 3 Southwest DeKalb leads number 5 Marist 6-0 on the strength of Ken Malcolm's 74-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Let's take a look at the number 5 Marist War Eagles resume. They're 6-1 on the season, 6-0 in the region. 2 state titles in 1989 and 2003. They've been to the state finals 10 times, 3 times in the last 6 years. 21 region titles, the last coming last year. Made the playoffs 26 straight years, and 1 perfect season. That was in 1989 when they went 15-0 and won their first state title.
I think the most amazing statistic there is 26 straight playoff seasons. That's an incredible run for this program, and it's a great testament to what they do on offense and how they stick with it.
2nd down and short. Handoff goes to Sullivan, and Sullivan sticks his shoulder pads across the line and gets the first down.
He did get the first down, and they've moved into Southwest DeKalb territory. They're changing that field position like we talked about a few minutes ago. It's just such a critical thing on a wet night. Marist is also doing exactly what they want to do now. It's ball control offense. That keeps Malcolm on the sideline as long as they can hang on to the football.
1st and 10, ball at the 48-yard line for the War Eagles as they enter into Panthers territory for the first time tonight. Handoff to Connors, and Matt Connors picks up 3 or 4 on the play.
Chris Nagel at center did a nice job with the nose tackle there, and that was a big key for them being able to get positive yards. Marist is starting to do exactly what they want to do, and that is, run the ball up inside. You can see how Nagel just went to a cut block to try to control the nose.
Second down coming up, ball at the 45, second down and 7. Marist coming off a 44-21 victory over Miller Grove. That has been their closest victory in their 6-game winning streak. And that includes a victory over then number 1 ranked Tucker, 32-7. Earlier in the season, McNerney to the sideline got hammered out of bounds as he gets inside the 45 down to about the 42.
Now you saw who was on his backside too, was Stripling. Stripling redirected about as quick as anybody can in this situation.
Yeah, you see Stripling, and then it was Naeem Wakil who put the hammering blow on him at the end. Stripling was the guy who kind of set that play up, and Wakil with 91 tackles on the season, number 55, 53 solo tackles coming into tonight's ball game. Number 4 in DeKalb County in solo tackles. Right up the middle, Cole Becker has a first down and nearly broke it for the touchdown.
It's an old double dive play. Marist has been running that for years. What a great job. Here you see the fake to the fullback. He's the lead blocker then. And that allows the second back through to pick up about 8 yards.
And that was Marquez Dixon who saved a touchdown by diving and tackling Cole Becker by the ankles. Cole Becker just his 14th carry of the season. Lines up again at one of the halfback positions. They'll rotate some guys in there because Sullivan and McNerney play both ways. Coming this way with the option. Toss goes to Becker. Becker trying to turn the edge and can't. Got his helmet ripped off his head.
I think Becker will learn there. It's probably a no-no against Southwest DeKalb. You'll see him take the pitch and he starts to head upfield and then decides to change direction. You're not going to beat Southwest DeKalb running toward the sideline. You just got to go north and south and get what you can.
Missed a face mask on that thing because Eric Robinson, number 2, the cornerback, clearly grabbed the face mask and ripped the helmet right off his head. I don't know how the officials missed it. They're standing right there on top of the play. Watch.
Yeah, he certainly did. That's a dangerous play.
I mean, the official's sitting there looking right at it. Right. I mean, how did he miss that? Second down and 9. Perez running to the edge and getting the ball up, and it's caught by Sullivan, tiptoeing the sideline. And did he step out of bounds? Still no signal from the official. They're going to say he stepped out at the 5. That's the second time they've been able to shake loose a receiver down the sideline. This time they connect.
It is, and I think it's all because Marist is able to capture the edge of the quarterback. The corner is sitting down. I think his eyes are on the quarterback instead of on the receiver. He did step out of bounds there. But going back to our point, the cornerback gets caught up looking at the quarterback and loses sight of his receiver. It's the second time Marist has been able to spring him loose.
Sullivan with his 9th catch of the season. They gave him a favorable spot. You saw on the replay, he stepped out at the 6. They put it at the 5. And McNerney picks up a couple of yards as he slams his body down close to the 3-yard line. Actually, Sullivan on the carry got down close to the 3, and they need to redouble those chin straps. Marist players keep losing their helmets.
Well,
a lot of hard hitting going on down there.
You hate to see that, Matt. You really do. You just hope that when they lose it, they go ahead and get out and not try to get extra yards.
Second down and goal from the 3-yard line. Marist trying to tie the game up and possibly take the lead.
Fullback
Connors
touchdown.
Got in for the touchdown. 3-yard touchdown run for Matt Connors. It's his 9th touchdown of the season, and Marist has tied the game at 6. That's an 81-yard drive.
Here you just see the fullback. He gets a lot of positive yards. Southwest DeKalb didn't shut down with the defensive line, and there was a nice hole there for Connors to run through. That was a nice drive by Marist.
That's kind of a textbook Marist War Eagles kind of drive right there, as Justin Moore is on for the PAT. Moore is steady. He's 23 of 23 on his PATs this season. And he puts that through and gives Marist a 1-point lead. 3 minutes and 38 seconds into the second quarter. Marist responds to the Southwest DeKalb quick strike with a long touchdown drive, and the War Eagles have a 1-point lead. Marist now with a 7-6 lead on Southwest DeKalb. It was Matt Connors taking it in for the 9th time this season, capping an 81-yard drive, 12 plays, Coach, 5.5 minutes, and that's pretty much vintage Marist right there.
It is, and I think the key to that drive was adjustments they made after the first series. They, didn't have a lot of success early in the game, and the Marist coaching staff, who's been there forever, did a great job of coming back and finding some things that would work. Southwest DeKalb continues to show a 50 look. They're playing with a true nose and 5 down linemen and 2 backers, and if Marist continues to hurt them, they may have to make some adjustments and give them some different looks on defense.
I thought that was a great point, Coach. Andy Perez, who we talked about off the top of the show, about his how well-versed he is in this offense. He really showed it on that drive as he was able to get up on several occasions, make an adjustment at the line of scrimmage to get him a big play.
He does, and I'm sure that Andy has the flexibility to take the play either way he wants to go. He can take it to the right or to the left. You'll see him making a lot of audibles at the line of scrimmage tonight on offense.
Moore with the kickoff, and this will be non-returnable, and that's the best defense you have against that great return team for Southwest DeKalb, is to kick it out of the end zone. And you see, that is why Justin Moore is on the radar of a number of Division I programs. He's already committed to Miami of Ohio. That is his 31st touchback out of 42 kicks this season.
Yeah, that's a big leg on a heavy night, too. When you get rain and a little humidity in here, the ball doesn't travel as far. That one did. It went out of the back of the end zone. That's a great job by him.
Alan Chadwick feels like even though he does have that offer and he has committed to Miami of Ohio, that he might have some bigger offers coming before the season is over as he continues to display that big leg that you just saw right there on the kickoff. There's Malcolm. And Malcolm in the middle. 5 yards up to the 25-yard line.
That was a nice play. It was a little different. You saw Southwest DeKalb take Corey Thomas, the left guard, and pull him and lead to the opposite side. That was a counter play by Southwest DeKalb.
2nd down and 4 coming up. You see Southwest DeKalb with 128 yards, 74 of those coming on that one touchdown run by Malcolm. 98 yards for Marist. 81 of those came on their 12-play drive. So 2nd down and 4. Coates back to pass and firing downfield, complete to Dixon. Dixon dances and picks up another 5 yards before Penn Davenport holds on and knocks him out of bounds at the 44-yard line. A 1st down for the Panthers.
That's one of the great byproducts of having a terrific running back like Malcolm. On that last play, you'll notice that the quarterback makes a play-action fake, freezing the linebackers, and that creates big seams in the secondary out there. So Southwest DeKalb's able to play action and get the ball down the field. And
the Panthers have not thrown the ball a lot this year. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Coates was hurt in the first game and just came back last week, and Jail Young, a sophomore, was running the team. It also has to do with the fact you got Ken Malcolm. And Buck Godfrey says, I'll adjust my offense to fit my personnel. Ball is out on the play as Malcolm inside the 45-yard line. I believe Southwest DeKalb got on top of it, and it will be a 1st down for the Panthers, but Malcolm lost that ball at the end of the play.
Well, the ball's going to be on the ground some tonight. It's a wet night out there, and typically it's when a running back breaks the initial line of scrimmage that he does fumble. They tend to not secure the ball quite as much as they do when they're inside the line of scrimmage. And, here you see Malcolm get a helmet right on top of the football, and it falls loose. They were lucky to get it back.
And that was Patrick Sullivan who got that helmet on the ball and knocked it out. Fortunately, the center, Kyle Sargent, was trailing on the play and recovered the fumble. 1st and 10. Keeper by Coates this time. He's dancing, making some people miss, and then a nice top tackle made by the linebacker Harmeyer. Pickup of only 1 yard on the play.
Marist did a nice job of staying on the line of scrimmage. That play got nothing because Marist was very disciplined, and once the quarterback broke the play and decided to break it outside, they had somebody there waiting for him.
That was McNearney, 13, not 43, Harmeyer, who made that tackle. So a 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Panthers. But going back to what Buck Godfrey was saying about adjusting his offense to fit his talent, he's got the big bruising tailback Malcolm, so they run that high formation right now. But remember, when they won the state championship in 1995, they slung the ball all over the place. They had Quincy Carter at quarterback as that pass was nearly intercepted by Jordan Snelling.
Well, it's a good route. They actually went to the wrong receiver. They ran verticals on the outside with the 3 receivers. And it was actually the outside, the number 1 receiver on the outside that was open. If he leads that ball to the middle of the field a little bit more, it makes it impossible for the secondary to get over the top and make that play. The throw was actually thrown behind the receiver.
Yeah, Mincy had to wait for that ball and actually stop his route, and Snelling was able to step in front and nearly get the pick. Southwest DeKalb 1 of 2 on their 3rd downs here tonight. And this is a 3rd down and 9, and a timeout, I believe, has been called by the Panthers, and we'll take one, too. 5:43 to play in the first half. Marist with a 1-point lead on Southwest DeKalb here on CSS. 5:43 to play here in the second quarter. Buck Godfrey, Southwest DeKalb Panthers trailing the Marist War Eagles 7-6. Here's a look at the Panthers' resume. 2 state titles. 1972, our producer Steve Graham was a freshman on that 1972 team that beat Gainesville in the state championship game. And then in 1995, we just mentioned Quincy Carter. He was the star quarterback for that 95 team that beat Parkview. 3 state finals. They were runners-up in 1990. 15 region titles, but they haven't won one since 2000. 10-plus wins 11 times from 1983 to 1999, but they haven't had any since. Their best record came in 1995 when they won that state title. They went 14-1.
That was a good team they had. We had a chance to play them in the playoffs in 1997, and they had a terrific football team. We were lucky to get out of here with a win. 4th down play, this is what you don't want to see, is a break contained, but Marist did a nice job of shutting that down. 4th down, I think they'll have to kick the ball here.
Yep, they're going to be short by about 5. It'll be interesting to see what they do in this situation. They have a pretty good punter in Darrell Jennings, who's number 3 in the county in kicking, averaging right at 38.8 per kick. We'll see if they try to pin Marist or whether they go for it here. The problem is, Coach, if you don't get it here, you give Marist pretty good field position with about 5 minutes left in the half, and that's just enough time for them to go the length of the field and eat up the whole clock.
It's a wet night, and you want to have field position. Kicking the ball usually is your best strategy here, but
they're going for it. Going to line up in a wildcat. Nope, no, coach is still taking the snap. And he keeps it, runs it right up the middle, and he may have picked up the first down, depending upon the spot. He did at the 31.
That's a gutsy play on Southwest DeKalb's part. Here, you see them. They're basically going to run the quarterback on a counter. They pull the left guard and left tackle, and kick out. They'd spread Marist out with 3 receivers, so. Things tend to open up in the middle a little bit for you when that happens.
And a great job by coach to stretch. 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 31-yard line.
Matt, we're seeing 2 completely different offenses for Southwest DeKalb here. They started off in the first quarter playing with tight ends in the game and a ball control running offense, and now they've spread it out. They're still running the ball, but they're mixing it up just a little bit. They've re-personneled, and they've gone to 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, got away from what was working for them when they scored the 74-yard touchdown. So 2nd down. And Malcolm, has he come off the field?
He did. He looks like he's limping a little bit.
Yeah, he's over on the sideline. They're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at him and see what's going on.
So while they tend to Ken Malcolm on the sideline, yeah, he's obviously in some pain right there. Already has that those ankles taped up pretty good. All right, 3:46 to play here in the half. Marist leading Southwest DeKalb 7-6. Malcolm's gone to the sideline, so let's check in with Mark Davenport to get a report.
All right, down here, Matt, what you're seeing right now is Ken Malcolm laying down. He came off the field, just fell on the grass. He was really in pain. What they're looking at right now is some cramps in his right calf muscle. What he's doing is he's taking a lot of water in right now because that's the only thing that's going to keep him from cramping up worse later on in the game. He should be okay, but he's got a ton of people just tending to him right now, getting that cramp worked out, Matt.
Hey, man,
Well, Mark, if you had rushed for over 1,000 yards, you'd have a ton of people tending to you, too. Here's a look at the Panthers' results since they opened the season with that loss to MLK. They've rattled off 6 straight wins over Miller Grove, Forsyth Central, Lakeside DeKalb, North Springs, Chamblee, and Lithonia to get to 6-1 where they are here tonight. And those 6 victories that they've rattled off since that loss to MLK have all come in the region. Driving rain coming down now. And the toss goes to Mincy. Mincy shoots through a hole, and he darts to the end zone for the touchdown.
Man, I was going to tell you, life doesn't get any easier for Marist. When Mincy goes in, he is committed to Auburn. He's a burner. And so basically Southwest DeKalb just traded power for speed.
But this one's coming back, Coach. There's a flag down on the play.
That's probably a holding call.
Art Williams, I missed his initial indication to see whether it was a hold or what the case might have been, but a 31-yard run by Mincy gets erased from the books. Yeah, a hold, and the hold is on number 25, Torrin Davis, the wingback, so watch for him in your picture.
Mincy changes the complexion of the game.
Yeah, there's the hold right there. It's pretty obvious.
It was. Mincy has a little different gear than most running backs, and he was able to split the secondary and get to the end zone pretty quickly.
Yeah, Mincy, as you mentioned, is committed to Auburn. He is a 3-star cornerback in the ratings by Rivals. They've got 4 players that are D1 commitments. We've already told you about Malcolm and, of course, Stripling, and then Mincy. The other is the strong safety, Sherrod Golightly, who has committed to Vanderbilt. So now it's going to be 2nd down and 19 with the ball at the 40. Mincy gets stopped in his tracks. No place to run for Mincy on that one. That was Phillip Wood, the defensive tackle. Also Mitchell Anderson, number 75, in on that tackle as well.
Yeah, you're right. Mitchell Anderson had great penetration on this from his tackle position. He goes unblocked. The left or the right guard tried to pull, and when he did, he vacated the area. Mitchell did a nice job of getting upfield and making the play. And
Carlock in on that play as well. So now it's going to be 3rd down and 19, and Coach, penalties have really killed Southwest DeKalb in this game. They had a play that got them down to the 6-yard line, and it was called back. They ended up not scoring on that possession, and now they've had a 30-yard touchdown run erased by a penalty.
You're exactly right. You can't afford to give things away in a game of this magnitude, and that's what's happened so far.
3rd down, and Coach wants to throw. Pocket breaks down. He's scrambling, throwing on the run, and off the hands of his wide receiver. That was Mincy downfield at the 30-yard line, and now it's going to be 4th down. And, Coach, what do you do? And there is a flag down on this play, too. You got to punt, right?
Yeah, you've got to kick the ball and try to pin Marist down and make them go the distance.
The ball was deflected downfield by the linebacker, Cole Becker, and then off the hands of Mincy. And the flag, let's see. Penalty is going to be against Southwest DeKalb. If Marist takes it, and again, that's a block below the knees, and it will be declined. And so Jennings is on to punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Allen decided to decline the penalty and go ahead and take the ball instead of giving up another play to Southwest DeKalb. I think that was a smart decision.
Sullivan is deep for the War Eagles at the 10. And the play gets blown dead before it can be run. Two minutes, 22 seconds. Got a sideline warning on Marist over there.
I don't know if people at home on television can see it, but the rain has just been real steady, and it really affects the passing game. As you saw on that last play by Southwest DeKalb, they make a great throw, and the ball's hard to hang on to. So it's tough on both ends, throwing it and catching it. I think both teams will probably continue to hammer it out and try to run the football and control the field position.
I think they're trying to straighten out the clock. I don't know. I think they want more time on the clock. The referee, Art Williams, is signaling to the press box, and I think they want to, they're going to add some more time. They added 1 second. Well, maybe that's all he wanted to add was 1 second. So 2:25 left in the half. Matt Stewart, Coach Tim McFarland, and Mark Davenport, along with our producer Steve Graham and the entire CSS team with you tonight at rainy Halford Stadium in Clarkston, Georgia, DeKalb County. Now they've got 2:32 on the clock. Now we'll play. Jennings stands at his 45-yard line to kick. Low snap, has trouble picking it up. He's in trouble. Running, and he did get it off. What a kick by Jennings. Sullivan will take it on a hop at the 8-yard line and get out of bounds at the 15, tackled downfield by Stripling. But that was a great job by Jennings to save Southwest DeKalb's bacon on that play.
That was not an easy move. Jennings has a hard time with the snap. The ball's wet. You know, kicking the ball on the run, and a wet ball at that, is a pretty phenomenal thing that he just did. And he got great yardage with it. He was able to get the ball downfield. Marist has got the ball on the 15, but that could have been pretty disastrous for Southwest DeKalb.
Getting high fives and slaps on the helmet all around, because he really came up with a big play right there for the Southwest DeKalb Panthers. Now the War Eagles back on offense, but only 2:19 with which to work.
Buck's changed his front here, Matt. He's gone to a 4 front instead of the 5. He's taken the nose out and shaded him, and looks like Southwest DeKalb's going to try to play this thing with a couple of shade guys inside and a little heavy on the edge.
Connors on the carry that time, picked up about 3 on the play. Marist, number 5 in the Quad A rankings. They've won 6 straight. And with a victory here tonight, would be in the driver's seat. Really an overwhelming favorite to go ahead and win the region championship for a 22nd time. They've got Lithonia and Lakeside left on their schedule, and they'll be big favorites in those games. Perez on the keeper, and Perez got knocked down by Go Lightly at the 23-yard line, and about a yard and a half short of the first down.
It's a good play by Marist. That was just a quarterback follow. He fakes the ball to the fullback. He leads up off tackle, and the quarterback Perez just followed him up into the hole. You know, when you watch these guys, it's a lot like watching Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it is. And Marist has had their fair share of players go on to play for Georgia Tech. Preston Lyons, probably one of the best fullbacks they've ever had play for the War Eagles, is now playing for Paul Johnson's triple option offense, a fullback. Timeout called here by Marist.
It was probably a good call by Allen. He saw something he didn't like, wanted to get back, get a timeout. This is an important first down for Marist. If they can move the ball, you know, out of their own territory down here and get the ball down the field, they don't want to be punting from down here this close to the goal line this late in the quarter.
Well, you know, Coach, this season has been very similar, almost a mirror image to last year's season for Marist when they went 13-2 and reached the state finals.
Right.
Just like last year, they opened this year with a big loss to their Catholic rivals, St. Pius. They lost 28-3 this year, and they have since won 6 in a row, beating Stone Mountain, Chambly, North Springs. Tucker at the time was ranked number 1 in the state, the team that they beat last year 38-0 in the regular season, and then lost to 15-3 in the state championship game. Forsyth Central and then Miller Grove, and that's 6 wins in a row for the War Eagles.
Yeah, that early loss to St. Pius had to be a good ball game. Paul Standard's done a terrific job at Pius. I don't think there's any love lost between those two schools,
No.
so I'm sure Standards enjoy winning 2 in a row against Marist.
Just good Catholic fun when those two schools get together.
Right.
So 3rd down and 1. Ball at the 24-yard line for Marist. As Coach pointed out, they, if nothing else, just want to get a first down here so they don't have to punt again before the half is over. Perez doing his best trying to get the Panthers just to jump off sides here. Now he'll change the play at the line of scrimmage. McNerney in motion, and they may have run out of time. They may have used too much.
Yeah, I'm not sure they got it all.
Nope, illegal procedure apparently is going to be the call on Marist there.
I didn't see it. I don't know who jumped. That's uncharacteristic of Marist. You normally don't see them committing these types of penalties in these situations.
Alan Chadwick has been the head coach since 1985. And almost every week we hear from coaches, whatever Nissan game of the week we are covering, and invariably his name will come up. He has so much admiration in this day of spread offenses and people changing the way they do things. He just keeps plugging along with that triple option wishbone attack, and they just keep winning.
They do. It's like clothes, you know. It goes out of style and then comes back again. But Allen's committed to it, and those kids are running this offense since they, since they're 10 or 12 years old, so they certainly understand it.
McNerney gets thrown out of bounds by Wakil, and Marist will have to punt before the half is over.
You got to be careful here punting the ball to Southwest DeKalb. Marist has a great kicker. One of the problems sometimes is that he kicks the ball long and out kicks his coverage, and that can be trouble for Marist. Southwest DeKalb will be looking for some positive yards on a return here.
And I believe somebody has called a timeout, probably Southwest DeKalb, although the ball was out of bounds, so the clock was stopped. And Southwest DeKalb called timeout here. They didn't have to do that because the clock was already stopped because McNerney had been thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think they meant to do that. I'm sure Buck would like to have that timeout back.
Because they have none remaining, so
right.
They're going to have to operate with less than 46 seconds by the time they get the ball, and they're going to have no timeouts with which to operate their offense. But Stephen Coach has impressed me. This is a young man. You got to feel good about Southwest DeKalb and their chances of advancing far in the state playoffs. Got to the quarters last year. They brought back virtually the same team. And Coach, after getting hurt on the very first play of the season against MLK, has come back, and he's really just now kind of shaking off the rust. You know, Coach,
yeah.
All your years coaching, the first, second game of the season, those are usually just kind of, getting warmed up kind of games.
Yeah, quarterbacks got, they have to get into a groove, and I was very impressed with the out route that he threw at midfield in their previous series. There's 5 yards against Southwest DeKalb. I was going to go back to the earlier play. Marist did 2 things that are really uncharacteristic of them. Number 1, they had a procedure penalty, and number 2, they ran the ball out of bounds, when they want to let the clock run.
Mm-hmm. Well, Southwest DeKalb just gave him 5 back. And not that Marist would try anything here, but their kicker, Justin Moore, is also a pretty good athlete. They play him in the secondary, too, so he's just not your typical kick-only punter. He can take off and run if he has to, although I'm certain they don't have any kind of designs for that right here. And now Southwest DeKalb does drop 2 deep again, Mincy and Dixon.
Yeah, I think they had a block on that first kick. Oh, nice job.
Wow, that's a great kick because it got over Dixon's head. He's going to go back and pick it up anyway at the 20, and that's a dangerous play. And he's going to get dropped at the 27-yard line. So a good job of kick coverage by Marist because the field was pretty wide open.
Yeah, I thought Marist did a nice job of kicking away from him.
Look, it got it over his head on a line drive kick.
Well, the ball was an end-over-end kick, which means when it hits the ground, it's going to take off. They were able to probably pick up about 15, 20 yards just on the roll. And Marist did a nice job of covering.
Yeah, and it was Sullivan again. We talked about this young man at the top of the game. I mean, he doesn't come off the field very often. Halfback, safety, special teams, returns punts. And, we've talked about all the big-time college prospects in the game. Well, Sullivan isn't cut out of that mold. 5'6", 155. Just a good high school football player. 1st and 10 out of the eye for the Panthers, and they give the ball to Malcolm. And Malcolm lunges forward to about the 30-yard line, and no more on the play.
I think both teams will be happy to get to the half here, and we've got a close ball game, and they'll make their adjustments and see what happens in the second half.
A little bit different from last year's ball game in which Marist jumped out to a big lead and then had to hold on for dear life and defeat Southwest DeKalb 27-21. The rain's just about stopped here, just in time for the guys to go to the locker room.
it may come back when they come back out.
Exactly. It just may. So it's halftime here at Halford Stadium in Clarkston, Georgia. Marist trots off to the locker room with a 7-6 lead on the Southwest DeKalb Panthers. Panthers got their 6 on a 74-yard touchdown run by Ken Malcolm. Marist got their 7 on the 81-yard touchdown drive. 12 plays, 5.5 minutes, your typical Marist kind of touchdown. And the ball game has been about what we would expect between these two heavyweights in Region 6 Quad A, both of them ranked in the top 5 of the state. Marist a 7-6 lead here at the break. Our sideline reporter Mark Davenport trying to chase down the coach. So let's go down on the sideline now, Mark Davenport. Mark?
Hey, Matt, here with Coach Chaddock. Tell me, you've seen a lot of rain in 25 years. How do you win in the rain?
Is it raining? I didn't even notice it was raining. We got a ball game to play, so it doesn't matter.
What do you tell these guys going in at half, to keep them going to win this football game?
Well, I'm not real pleased with the way we're playing either side of the ball right now. Offensively, we're not getting enough going. We're missing some reads, and Andy's not playing quite up to par right now. We got to get him calmed down a little bit, let him play a little bit better. Defensively, we're playing on our heels too much. We're not attacking and playing downhill enough, and sitting back on our heels. If we sit back, that guy's going to run all over us.
Coach Chadwick, thank you very much. Best of luck in the second half. Matt.
All right, thank you, Mark. It's halftime here at Halford Stadium. If you like rain, we've had plenty of that. Plenty of defense, too, and some big plays. Marist with a 1-point lead at the break. For all your high school scores, from football to basketball, from soccer to lacrosse, Score Atlanta has them all, and you can check all the prep scores year-round at ScoreATL.com. Speaking of which, let's check out the ScoreATL.com scoreboard, and we'll start with the teams that are ranked in 5A. Number 1, Grayson, an 18-0 lead on Meadow Creek. That's in the second quarter. Number 2, Northside Warner Robins leading Tiff County 13-0 in the second. Number 3, North Gwinnett, a 7-0 lead on North Forsyth in the second. Number 4, Noonan leading Pebblebrook 20-0 at halftime. Number 5, Lowndes leading Houston County 21-0 in the second quarter. Number 7, McEachern with a 21-0 lead on Harrison. You saw Union Grove and Stevenson will be tomorrow, and there's McEachern leading in the second quarter. Number 8, Peachtree Ridge with a 7-3 lead on South Forsyth. That's at halftime. Number 9, Camden County and Jenkins are scoreless. That's in the second. Number 10, Woodstock with a 23-0 lead on Cherokee. That's in the second. And Roswell, also Lassiter and Walton. We'll see Walton next week. The Trojans and the Raiders are tied at 14 in the second quarter. And Roswell, who we'll also see next week, leading Milton 17-7. That's at halftime. In the Quad A scores, number 1, Griffin leading Jonesboro 16-0 at the half. Number 2, Westside Macon and America Sumter are scoreless in the second. Number 4, Sandy Creek shutting out Stars Mill 14-0 in the second. Number 6, North Clayton with a 24-0 lead on Stockbridge. That's in the second. Number 7, Tucker with a 7-0 lead on Stone Mountain. That is also in the second quarter. Number 8, Appalachia trails Heritage Conyers 14-7 in the second. And number 9, Hiram leading number 10, Hillgrove 13-0 in the third quarter. In AAA, number 1, Gainesville with an 8-0 lead on Gilmer in the second quarter. Also, number 6, Carrollton leading Central Carrollton 24-7 in the second. Number 7, LaGrange, a 28-0 lead on Columbus. That's in the second quarter. Number 10, North Hall leading Chestatee 14-7 in the second. In AA tonight, number 1, Calhoun, a 10-0 lead on Dade County in the second. Number 2, Fitzgerald with a 13-7 lead on number 10, Brooks County in the second. Number 3, Buford leading Blessed Trinity 7-0 in the second. And GAC with a 3-0 lead on number 6, Lovett in the second. And in single A right now, number 1, Wesleyan, a 14-0 lead on Athens Academy. That is also in the second quarter. Now joined upstairs by Michael Carvel of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. The AJC covers recruiting and high school football for the paper. And your thoughts on what you've seen here so far tonight in this Marist 7-6 lead on Southwest DeKalb?
Well, it's raining, it's pouring, and Kenny Malcolm is soaring. Yeah. I guess he's got 117 yards on 10 carries. I think he's the number 1 back in the state, and he's had a good first quarter. Second quarter, he had a little hamstring injury. We'll see what he does in the second half.
I thought it's very interesting. There are 2 players here for Southwest DeKalb who are already committed to the University of Georgia. TJ Stripling, or Alan Stripling, whatever you want to call him. He goes by both. And also Ken Malcolm, you just talked about right there. There was a day when Georgia never got any players out of Southwest DeKalb. That kind of tells you how the recruiting environment has changed with the 2 schools.
Yeah, ever since the days of Quincy Carter, that sort of caused a little rift between Georgia fans and Southwest DeKalb. A little tough feelings there, but it appears that has moved forward. So Georgia's really doing good in the inner city. They got Garrison Smith out of Douglas, and they're in the run for some guys at Westlake.
Your thoughts on Stripling and what you've seen so far from him tonight? He has 15 sacks on the season, and it's very hard to run right at him.
Yeah, Marist is playing a lot of games with him. They're either running right at him or they're trying to play his aggressiveness against him. And he had one big sack, couple other times they got around him and got some big gains. So they're basing their offensive game plan around him.
What's been the key here for Southwest DeKalb in this revitalization? They got to the quarterfinals last year. I don't think there's any question. You look at the talent base, and things are back on the upswing for Southwest DeKalb, who got hurt very badly by the openings of MLK and Stevenson over the last 10 to 15 years. But they've got 4 Division I commitments on this roster right now.
Yeah, I think they're the best team in 4A. Marist is a big challenge for them because they have to play a disciplined style of game to compete against Marist, but I think they're the best team in 4A right now.
Marist remains a fun team to watch, however. And they might not have the college football prospects that Southwest DeKalb or a Tucker may have, but they're right there competing for the state championship every year with the system, the triple option that they run.
Yeah, they're one of the best high school football programs around. And, you know, we got 2 legends out here. We got Buck Godfrey and we got Alan Chadwick, 2 coaching legends.
Michael, thanks a lot for being with us. Keep up the good work.
It was a pleasure.
All right, Michael Carvel of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. It's halftime here. TJ Stripling and the Southwest DeKalb Panthers march back out on the field, trailing by 1 here at Halford Stadium. You're watching the Nissan High School Football Game of the Week on CSS. The number 5 Marist War Eagles with a 7-6 lead on the third-ranked Southwest DeKalb Panthers on a rainy night at Halford Stadium as Moore kicks it through the end zone, and the Panthers will start here on offense at their own 20-yard line to begin the third quarter. And again, that's the big leg of Justin Moore and just how valuable a weapon that is for the Marist War Eagles special teams.
It is. Man, I think that takes away from a great play in high school football. I'd like to see them change that rule and let kids bring it out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Coach. I've wondered why they won't let kids bring that ball out of the end zone. You see what the kickoff has done for college football. It has totally changed the complexion of that ball game since they moved the ball back to the 30-yard line. Teams, instead of, getting that ball at the 20-yard line now, they're starting at the 40, the 45, the other side of the 50. It really has changed the game.
It has, and it's such an exciting play, too, that they just let high school do it.
And a timeout's been called by Southwest DeKalb. Wow, Coach, before they can even run a play here in the third quarter, you just had a whole 25 minutes in the locker room to get ready for this play right here, and you come out and you're not ready to take that snap.
Yeah, that's a critical mistake on Southwest DeKalb's part. My guess is it was a personnel issue, that they didn't have enough people in the game, or they didn't have the right people for their package. But whatever the case, it's not the way you want to start the second half. The difference in the first half for Southwest DeKalb was penalties, and this is just another one of those mistakes that can cost them.
Well, you saw the disgust on the look of Coach Buck Godfrey's face that they had to burn a timeout there before they could even take a snap here in the third quarter, and the rain has started up just as hard as ever. We joked as they were going to the locker room, it had stopped. It stopped while they were in the locker room. They come back out, and it comes back down harder than ever before.
Well, you knew it would. That's high school football.
First and 10, Coach tosses to Malcolm. Malcolm cuts back, and you got to watch it every time he touches the ball, and he gets about 7 yards on the play as Carlock makes the tackle for the War Eagles.
Malcolm makes a nice cut here. He's trying to get the edge, and that Marist does a good job of shutting it off, but for a big guy, he changes direction so well.
Yeah, he really does. I know Georgia Bulldog fans who are tuned in to watch this ball game tonight got to be excited about watching Ken Malcolm run that ball for the Southwest DeKalb Panthers.
Well, they should be excited. They've got a great one in him. Michael Carvel thinks he may be the best one in the state.
He looks good tonight, that's for sure. Second down, they'll fake a handoff to him and run it to the wingback. Torrin Davis bounces off a man and picks up the first down and more. And Davis finally stuck over on the sideline by Sullivan after he picks up the first down past the 35-yard line.
It's a good call by Buck. He's trying to create a little misdirection here by taking Malcolm and then running a trap to the backside off of that.
Little wing T action there by the Panthers on that one. So first and 10 from the 37-yard line. Panthers averaged 35.7 points per game, 195 yards rushing per game. Toss goes to Malcolm, and he's caught. And that was Carlock, the Mike linebacker, who dropped him for a loss back at the 34-yard line.
Made a real nice play. Marist, I thought, did a nice job of containing the sweep here. You'll see 13 there working hard to keep his outside shoulder free, and he didn't let Malcolm beat him. to the outside shoulder. It was a very nice play.
Textbook defense by the strong safety, Sam McNerney, to keep that ball from getting outside and pushing it back inside for Carlock to make the play. 2nd down and 12.
We wondered if Southwest would go back to what they did early, and they have. They've gone back to a fullback and running the ball.
Malcolm up to about the 40-yard line as he picked up about 5 on that play. Malcolm 13 carries for 126 and a touchdown. They just need to feed him like the playoff game we had with your team, Roswell and Peachtree Ridge, and kept giving the ball to your run it 41 times. But yeah. Alex Lincoln, right?
Alex Daniel.
Alex Daniel. Yeah. Alex Daniel had 41 carries in that ball game.
Alex is playing up at Northwestern now.
You got a big horse like that, you just got to keep riding them, right?
I agree. I was a little surprised in the second quarter that Southwest DeKalb kind of got away from that a little bit.
So 3rd down and 7 now from the 40-yard line. There's Malcolm again, and Malcolm spins out of a tackle and picks up the 1st down.
That was a tremendous individual effort by that young man. He got that on his own.
Yeah, Becker, number 23, hits him. Actually, Davenport, number 22, the cornerback, hit him and might have had him, but just hitting him, not going to bring him down. He just spun right out of that hit.
He did, and Marist did everything right on that, Matt. They were in the right position. They're there to make a tackle. They just can't wrap up. He's a big guy to bring down. He runs hard, gets behind his pads. That's a tough guy on a wet night.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Fullback that time. A couple of yards on the play.
You got to keep those fullbacks happy too. In this offense, they don't see the ball very often. They're almost like a guard who lines up in the backfield.
Yeah, that was Jerome Lewis getting his first carry of the ball game. Lewis, number 5, 20 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown coming into the ball game here tonight.
Yeah, he's splitting time with Anthony Allen at fullback tonight. Anthony did a nice job in the first half.
Here's Malcolm again, and Malcolm, using his body as a battering ram, gets it down to the 44-yard line.
And I'm sure this was Buck's game plan at halftime. I'm guessing he went in and told the guys, look, we did this well in the first quarter. We want to get back to it.
Do what works. Don't try to outthink yourself. You don't have to use every play in the playbook, just the ones that work.
It doesn't take many.
3rd down and 3. Here's Malcolm again, and Malcolm, 1st down carry. He got hit about 4 or 5 times and still moved forward with the ball.
Yeah, Southwest DeKalb went on a little quicker count. I think they caught Marist off guard. The defensive line wasn't quite ready on that play, and I know Allen won't like that very much.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4 guys to bring him down, and a 1st down at the 40-yard line. Malcolm just punishing the defense right now. Ball is dropped by Coach, and he got back on top of it at the 40-yard line. And that's the first time we've seen a fumbled center quarterback exchange.
It is. They've done a good job of that tonight. Marist, the danger with them is the exchange between the fullback and the quarterback. But with Southwest DeKalb, the center's trying to get off the ball a little bit quick there, and I think he just came out from under it too soon.
Yeah, I don't know that it was a wet ball issue.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think the center was trying to get to where he was going in a hurry.
So 2nd down and 10, ball at the 40-yard line. Kyle Sargent, the 6-foot, 245-pound senior center for the Panthers. There's Malcolm with a big hole, and Malcolm down to the 30-yard line, got close to 10 on the play.
It's going to be close to a first. It'll be interesting to see if he's got it. Again, you see the guard and the tackle on the right side pulling on the counter play there. Basically what Southwest DeKalb is doing is blocking down on the play side and kicking out with the guard.
Look at 53. And you've pointed out Jabari Carney a number of times. That was another nice pull block by Carney.
Yeah, I'm impressed with his agility and his speed.
153 for Malcolm and more as he picks up a 1st down close to the 25-yard line.
This will wear on you if you're on defense now. If you're playing defense and you're out there in this weather and they're pounding you for 5 yards a carry, it gets old in a hurry. Marist is going to have to get a stop here or try to look for a turnover.
I'm impressed by number 53, Jabari Carney. Coach, you have singled him out, spotlighted him on the offensive line. He's going both ways tonight because he's a starting nose tackle, too.
He is. He's done a great job, and Corey Thomas at left guard's done a nice job. The Southwest DeKalb has a good offensive line, and they move well for the size that they have.
Becker just holding on for dear life on that one as Malcolm has basically carried the Panthers down the field on his back. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line for Ken Malcolm. This is his 4th 100-yard rushing game of the season, and he's got a shot at his 2nd 200-yard rushing game. This time the fullback, Lewis maybe got a yard or two on the play.
He did. I think Mitchell Anderson was the guy on the play for Marist. He did a nice job of shutting down. Hugh Williams was also in on it.
And Hugh Williams, number 72, and there's a face mask on this play as well, which will be marked off against Marist. Hugh Williams is the guy they just moved over to the defensive side of the ball because they didn't feel like they were getting enough rush off the edge. And they put number 72, Hugh Williams, who Jamie Newberg talked about at halftime, is a fine offensive line prospect who's got an offer from the Air Force. Alan Chadwood wants a timeout, and we'll take one too. With 5:33 to play in the quarter, Marist leading by a point, but the Panthers are driving. (7-6), Marist leading Southwest DeKalb with 5.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. When it comes to local high school sports, the Metro Atlanta Score Prep editions cover it all. Make sure to pick up Score Prep at your nearest Quick Trip, Kroger, and Blockbuster, or go to scoreatl.com for more information. Matt Stewart, Coach Tim McFarland, Mark Davenport, producer Steve Graham, and the entire CSS team with you on a soggy night at Halford Stadium in DeKalb County, where the Panthers trail the War Eagles by 1, but now on the 13th play of a drive to open this half. They have held the ball the entire second half. 7.5 minutes, 6.5 minutes, approaching 7 full minutes.
Yeah, this has been a Marist-like drive. And
Malcolm down to the 4, ball popped out, but out of bounds.
I think they're going to mark it on the 2, Matt.
Now let's see how that ball, did it just slither out of his hands at the end of the run? Or did someone get a hand on it? Yeah, it just kind of popped off his hip.
Just popped out.
Yeah, popped off his hip.
You know, again, Malcolm does a nice job of making the cut. You know, he tries to get to the edge. It's not quite there. A little change of direction, and he does a nice job of setting up his blockers.
13 runs, no passes on this drive. At least 10 or 11 of the runs here by Malcolm. He dives to the end zone, tries to go up and over, and can't get there.
Well, Marist did a nice job of filling gaps. They came off the ball and got up under the offensive line of Southwest DeKalb and made it a little difficult for Malcolm to get in. I think Buck just basically at halftime said, look, guys, we're going back to running the football.
Not a bad plan.
No, they started on the 20, and they've got 1 yard to go. We'll see if they can get it in.
15th play of the drive. 2nd down and goal from the 1. Coates this time will run it in from the edge, holds the ball up high, and gets in there. Stephen Coates with the 1-yard touchdown run. The circuitous route to get around the line, but he did. It's his 2nd touchdown run of the season, and it puts the Panthers back on top 12-7.
It's a nice play. It's a nice counter off of faking the ball to Malcolm, and the bootleg is just such a tough play on the goal line because you have to be committed to stopping the run, and when you've got a guy like Malcolm, it makes the bootleg an easier play. Southwest DeKalb's going to have to go for 2 here, I would guess.
That's 16 plays, 80 yards. 15 plays, 80 yards, every one of them on the ground. And the Panthers are going to have to use another timeout here to get their 2-point conversion team on the field. So you got to wonder. I mean, it's great. They've taken the lead here, but now they've burned 2 timeouts before the end of the third quarter. They might need these in the 4th.
Well, I'm sure they will. You don't want to let those timeouts go early in the second half. You can afford to burn them in the first half early, but You've got 3, and you want to hang on to all of them if you can, and Buck's down to 1.
Nobody get up on it. Nobody. Nobody get up on this.
Let's take a look at the Georgia High School Football Daily consensus rankings. Now, these are the rankings from all over the state, not just the Georgia High School Football AJC rankings, but also the coaches poll and the AP poll, and all those polls are taken into account. And here's a look at the consensus rankings. Griffin number 1, Westside Macon 2, Marist 3, North Clayton 4, and Southwest DeKalb 5. So you see in the consensus, Marist and Southwest DeKalb are actually flip-flopped. Sandy Creek 6, Tucker 7, now Thomas County Central 8, Sprayberry at number 9, and Hiram at number 10.
Yeah, it's nice to see Sprayberry coming back. They, been down for a few years. They've done a nice job. And then over at Hiram, a fairly new program. Jimmy Dorsey's son Andy's over there doing a great job.
We saw Sprayberry earlier in the season lose a heartbreaker up at Dalton, and they came back last week and upset Hillgrove, got them into the rankings. Malcolm's going to throw a pass, and it's complete to the tight end. Goodwin for the 2 points.
That's not fair. You shouldn't be able to run the ball like that and throw it.
So Malcolm with the 2-point conversion pass to William Godwin. And 4:37 left in the third quarter. The Panthers now lead it 14-7. 4:37 left in the third quarter. Southwest DeKalb has held the ball the entire third quarter to this point, capping a 15-play, 80-yard drive, 7:23 off the clock, Coach. And Marist getting a dose of their own medicine. This is what the War Eagles wanted to do to the Panthers, is play keep away, and that's exactly what the Panthers have done to the War Eagles to start the second half.
Yes, they have. And, there's some unsung heroes on this offensive unit for Southwest DeKalb. As we mentioned, the fullback position is, it's a tough position in the eye because you're blocking. You're a guard in the backfield. And, on that series, Jerome Lewis did an outstanding job. And, of course, Wakil and Carney on the right side of the line of scrimmage did a nice job of clearing holes for Malcolm.
There's William Goodwin, who just caught the 2-point conversion pass from Malcolm. 81 Goodwin, and Malcolm, of course, with 177 yards rushing. And then, as you said, not fair. Young man that's able to do that, then throws the 2-point conversion pass to give you a 7-point lead. Quite a showing here by Southwest DeKalb, in particular Ken Malcolm, the Rivals 4-star running back, who's rated the number 24 running back in the nation. Rivals has him as the number 2 prospect in the entire state of Georgia, and he certainly has lived up to that billing here tonight.
Yes, he has. He's good. He's as good as I've seen this year. Marist will need to counter this with a good drive of their own. They made nice adjustments in the second quarter offensively. I know at the half, Allen said he was anxious for Perez to settle down. I thought Perez did a nice job in the second quarter, and we'll see what he can do as Marist gets the ball back.
And how about McCarthy? Kick for kick. He has stood right there with Justin Moore, and he kicks it into the end zone. And so Marist takes it at the 20.
I believe somebody's about to get a personal foul. I just saw the flag fly late after the play, and it happened over toward the Marist bench. So
we now have 2 flags out on the field right now. Alan Chadwick was out on the field generously saying he was discussing the call with Art Williams, is the way we'll put it, but he's not happy about it.
No, and Alan's probably as upset with his own player as he is with the officials on this. You got a game this close, you got to keep your head about yourself, and there's a lot of football to be played.
Yeah, there's a personal foul and an unsportsmanlike conduct call. I'm just guessing that the unsportsmanlike might have been on the bench, in particular Coach Chadwick. That's just a guess on my part, just by the way the flag flew and where it flew. I didn't see the personal foul. But it puts the ball at the 10-yard line. So the War Eagles in an even deeper hole here, now down by a touchdown, and now 90 yards away from the end zone.
Well, this is kind of what happened in the first half. Southwest DeKalb controlled field position, kept the ball deep in the Marist territory, and Marist started the game with their backs against the wall, and they're back there again here in the second half.
Yeah, I said the 10. It's actually the 5-yard line. They'll have to be careful with the ball. Connors got hit hard as he tried to run right in the middle there, and that was the defensive tackle Isaiah Cook, and Anthony Allen, the linebacker, in on that tackle as well.
He did a nice job of shutting down and making the tackle, but equally as impressive was was the running back from Marist there. That was positive yards after the hit.
Yeah, 5 yards on the play, 2nd down and 5 as he punches it out to the 10-yard line. Ball is fumbled, and it is recovered by Southwest DeKalb inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you said just a minute ago, you hadn't seen fumbles on the exchange, and now we've had 2 in this half.
And that was Terrence Smith, the defensive end, number 24, who was in the right place at the right time and got on top of that ball at the 9-yard line. And now Marist is in a world of trouble.
Yeah, but look who was causing that fumble, Matt. If you go back and look at that, it was Carney all over again. He had great penetration coming from the nose tackle position and caused some trouble for Perez.
Terrence Smith, a 6'2", 215-pound junior with 61 tackles on the season, and he will be a major college prospect this time a year from now. 1st and goal to go for the Panthers at the 9-yard line. Handoff, Malcolm pulling his way forward for 3 yards, down to the 6. Homrich in on the tackle for the War Eagles that time.
Buck has taken out his receivers and put in 2 tight ends and a full house backfield. I think he's just content to try to play smash mouth football here. This would be a huge momentum shift if Marist can make the stop here and come away from this with no points, or at the very most 3. It is a critical set of series for Marist because their offense is not geared to come from behind. They're going to have to play great defense here and try to minimize the damage.
180 yards rushing for Malcolm tonight. Full house backfield. He gets the rock and he gets stuck as he tries to go off the left side of that offensive line. That's a strong play by Keller Carlock, number 41, the Mike linebacker.
It's an emotional game, Matt. We have a lot of tempers flaring down there, and flags just went up again. I'm sure it's a personal foul.
Mark Davenport reports from the sideline that Malcolm is still being bothered by a cramp, and you see an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty being thrown here on Marist.
Very unusual for a very disciplined Marist team.
And that's going to, let's see what the situation will bring up. That's going to put the ball at the 2-yard line.
A second flag just went up, and it came from behind the Marist huddle. So Allen may have to call timeout and help these guys to gather themselves.
And we have a second unsportsmanlike penalty on Marist. Back to back. Another half the distance to the goal. And Marist losing their composure, unraveling here as they've coughed up the ball inside the 10-yard line. And watch number 41, Keller Carlock, after he makes the tackle, perhaps some words were said.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's taunting. And it's a shame. Keller just made a terrific play. He's a super football player. You need to let your playing speak for yourself or for itself. A lot of times in those situations, too, it's the second guy that gets caught, so you never know what was said to him. But he's going to have to keep his cool.
Well, now it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line. And Mincy this time, they run Mincy, and Mincy actually lost a yard on the play, and so now it's going to be 4th down. Now Malcolm is, see, there he is. It's the cramps again that Mark Davenport was telling you about. He's really being bothered by that in his right leg. He's in a lot of pain, and a very unfortunate timing for Southwest DeKalb, that he had to come off the field on that 3rd down and goal from the 3. And now, Coach, you're facing 4th down and goal from the 4. Do you go for it here, or do you kick the field goal?
That depends on your confidence in your kicking game. Buck will make a call based on how he feels about that. I think they're going to be content to go for it. If they don't get it, they'll pin Marist down here deep. There's the boot again.
Coates wants to throw it and cannot connect with Stripling, who they put in there to catch the pass, and the ball goes over on downs. And we may reflect on this series right here and look back if Marist is able to rally and win this ball game, as the key point of the ball game, them stopping the Panthers after they had it 1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
Well, that's a huge momentum swing in this football game. We said just a few minutes ago, if Marist could get a stop and shut it down to no points, they would, they're more than happy to have the ball on the 3-yard line in this situation. I'll tell you, they had some great plays just a minute ago on third down. Cole Becker made a play on the toss that I thought was critical to the stop. He was able to get through the line of scrimmage and get up under the blockers and hit Malcolm in the backfield. I'm surprised that Malcolm's cramping too this time. Late in the season,
right,
and
yeah.
it's a little unusual for him to be cramping this time of year.
Handoff, second man through is Patrick Sullivan, and Sullivan gets 10 yards out to the 15-yard line, so they buy themselves some breathing room on the strong run by Patrick Sullivan. That gets it out to the 15, 1st and 10 as they move the sticks. Yeah, you're right. I'm also very surprised that Coach Godfrey did not go for the field goal there. McCarthy is 2 for 2 and he's been very accurate, unless he just felt like the field conditions were just too much to deal with.
Well, field conditions, and I tell you what else played into his thinking there too. The ball was on the right hash.
Connor, big hole, and Matt Connors up to the 30-yard line, and that's 25 yards for the War Eagles, right into the teeth of that Panther defense on consecutive plays.
This game is so emotional right now, and right now the emotion has swung back to Marist. 2 consecutive plays they've been able to pretty much gut the Southwest DeKalb defense.
The rain just coming down in sheets and waves right now. It has rained pretty much the entire night except at halftime when the guys were in the locker room. Back to that wishbone. Now they break out of the bone and put Sullivan in the slot. They hand off to Connor. Nope, Perez is going to keep it. And Perez picks up a couple of yards on the play.
Well, if nothing else, Marist has done a great job of getting their backs out from against the wall. They were down there on the 2-yard line, and 3 plays later, they're out here pushing the 35 and moving the ball up the field. And I think emotionally, that's tough on Southwest DeKalb for those guys to be down there that close and come away with no points.
2nd down and 8. The mist starts to come into our booth now. Rain's going every which way right now. Second man and Sullivan. No, McNerney, and not much doing on the play for McNerney that time. Terrence Smith made the tackle, and there is a flag down on the field.
That's a holding call against Marist.
So that's going to back up the War Eagles right here. That is 6 penalties now on Marist, only 39 yards. That number would be a lot bigger in the yardage category, except they got those unsportsmanlikes inside the 5-yard line. They were only half the distance.
Yeah, they went the wrong way for a few plays, but they've done a nice job here. Let's see what they can do on 2nd down. I think if they can just get some positive yards. And there's a play action.
Perez rolling, now just keeping, and Perez is going to lose yards on the play back to the 20-yard line. Stripling was there, and he was not fooled.
The secondary for Southwest DeKalb did a nice job on coverage here. Even if Perez comes out of this thing clean, he really didn't have a receiver that was going to be open.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. We played 36 minutes, most of it in a driving rainstorm at Halford Stadium in Clarkston. Number 3, Southwest DeKalb leading by a touchdown as we go to the final quarter on CSS. Start of the 4th quarter, Southwest DeKalb leading 14-7. Make sure to check out Score Atlanta's high school recruiting show every Monday night from 7 to 9 on 790 The Zone. The official visit is a great source for your recruiting news, and you can check out more recruiting info on scoreatl.com. Back to pass and complete to Sullivan at the 24-yard line. He picked up about 4 or 5 on the play, but he is well short of the 1st down, and Marist is going to have to punt in adverse field conditions. So 4th down in a punting situation, Coach, and again Justin Moore finds himself punting in that driving rainstorm, but they've done a pretty good job to this point of not letting Dixon or Mincy get free back there.
Yeah, he's kicking the ball high, which gives Marist time to get up under the coverage, and I think he's done a good job with that. You know, it's just as hard to field the ball in this weather as it is to handle the kicks. So here's another short kick, and he really has no option but to let it hit and roll.
And that's a great play because 0 return yards for the Southwest DeKalb Panthers as they take over at the 35-yard line. Be sure to join us for the Nissan High School Football Game of the Week next Friday night as, Coach, your old team, the Roswell Hornets, take on the Walton Raiders. You know all about that rivalry and that great battle. And, of course, just a couple of years ago, we televised a tremendous game between you two teams, Roswell and Walton. That's next Friday night at 7:30 right here on CSS.
That'll be a great one. Both of those coaching staffs do a wonderful job. You know, Rocky Hildago's in his inaugural year doing a fine job at Walton. He was the defensive coordinator, and of course Ed Dudley has gone down to Ware County, but you know, they just continue to do what they do. And of course Leo Barker's doing a super job at Roswell, and they're 7-0 this year. It'll be a great game.
Marquez Dixon tries to kick it outside, and he does. Breaks into the open field, and Snellings finally grabs him by the shoulder pads and pulls him down inside the 25-yard line. Snellings saved a touchdown as Marquez Dixon got loose.
Dixon did a nice job here of breaking the tackle. Marist had about 3 chances to take him down early, and he just, you know, kept his feet working and was able to get free. Marist was actually fortunate that one didn't go the distance.
They really have not used him a lot out of the running game this season. Coming into the ball game, he was only 6 for 30. He got more on that one carry than he had on his previous 6 during the season. As they run the fullback, actually they run the tailback Mincy that time. And again, Malcolm still being plagued by those cramps in his lower right leg.
You know, you talk about the depth of Southwest DeKalb. It's amazing how they have people going out of the game, and they just keep putting people in position that makes plays. And you know, you mentioned the quarterback had been out for a good part of the season, yet they continue to win. Malcolm goes out at running back, and they just you know, they just keep firing different guns that you know, causes some difficulties for Marist. There's a tremendous amount of speed at the running back position for Southwest DeKalb.
Didn't agree with him. Here's Dixon. Now they've got some speedy guys in Mincy and in Dixon, but they don't have the horse like Malcolm. They only have one horse, and he's over on the sideline right now. And you got to feel it really killed their chances when they were 3rd and goal at the 2. Had Malcolm been in the ball game, you really like their chances of punching it in and getting the touchdown.
You do. He's a difference maker, but you also have to credit Marist. And you know, here again, you're going to have a situation where Southwest DeKalb is deep into Marist territory. And you know, Matt, in this game, you only get so many opportunities. Again, if Marist comes away with a stop here, that's a big momentum swing for them.
It's 3rd down and 9, ball at the 20-yard line. Panthers 3 of 7 in this contest.
Great play by Marist on the perimeter.
Mincy cutting back, making something happen. Touchdown, Jonathan Mincy. They had him, and Mincy was able to shake himself free for the touchdown.
It is so hard to defend, you know, speed and quickness. What a great combination. I thought Marist had this hemmed up. Mincy did a nice job of making some moves, and you know, all he had to do was break a couple of tackles and get to the end zone. Change of direction is so hard for a defense on a wet field, and Marist is struggling with that right now.
McCarthy on for the PAT, had one blocked earlier in the ballgame. Low snap, they get it down, and this time he gets it through. 8 minutes and 32 seconds to play. Jonathan Mincy dances his way to a 20-yard touchdown run, and the Panthers lead by 2 scores. Southwest DeKalb has opened up a 21-7 lead on the Marist War Eagles with 8.5 minutes to play in regulation. It was a 4-play, 59-yard drive, took 2.5 minutes, and Coach, you were dead on the money. Ken Malcolm goes to the sideline with the leg cramps, and they just dial up Marquez Dixon and then Jonathan Mincy.
They do. It's just a case of great athletes making great individual plays.
Yeah, Marquez Dixon got him down inside the 25-yard line. Two different kind of backs from Malcolm.
Oh, exactly. But sometimes, you know, changing speeds up on a defense poses some problems. And, you know, with Mincy, he's a threat to go anytime he touches the ball.
Mincy, number 21, a cornerback committed to Auburn University.
He may wind up at running back.
He can do either one. I'm fairly confident of that.
He's a pretty good football player.
They really like his skills as a cover corner.
Man, I really think that this is going to be concerning to Allen because he knows his offense, and it's not an offense that's geared to necessarily come back from 2 scores down in the fourth quarter.
No, they best operate when they have the lead, and that's why it's always so important for them to grab one. Of course, everybody likes to grab the lead, but more offenses, as you know, Coach, are tailored to being able to come back, and running the option is not one of those offenses.
Well, we'll see. You know, Perez is going to have an opportunity, I'm sure, to throw the football here. They're going to have to probably have to do that as the clock winds down. We're at 8 minutes now, and they've got a long way to go.
Well, they stick with the running game right now. Mount Connors picks up 4 yards to the 24-yard line. I tell you what, though, Coach, it's very interesting. You know, you talk about in this situation you have to throw the ball, but on this very field back in the playoffs probably about 10 years ago, Stevenson was playing Camden County, and Stevenson had the lead, and Camden County went into their 2-minute offense, never threw the ball. They ran 80 yards down the field. They ran a 2-minute offense just running the ball. It was the craziest thing you've ever seen, but you don't have to throw the ball to win. Georgia Tech proves that almost every Saturday.
Yeah, they did against Florida State, didn't they? They certainly ran the score up running the football, and we'll see if Marist can do that. I think the issue facing Marist now is not necessarily running or throwing, but it's the clock.
It's the clock, yeah, and when you run the ball, the clock runs.
Right.
So however they do it, whether they run the ball or throw the ball, they need to get a quick score right here.
They do. They need to put one in and then onside it and see if they can get another one. Well, they've got single coverage right now on the outside up top.
It is just a monstrous night weather-wise, and unable to turn the corner. McNearney gets run down from behind by Stripling. And there we are. It's you can see the conditions here, and yeah, it's a nasty night. Well, I mean, we can't complain too much. At least we have cover over our head. Think about the fans. And I tell you what, I tip my cap to the fans here who are just sitting through these conditions here tonight to support their teams.
I agree. They're the heroes of tonight. That's for sure. The kids don't even know it's raining. You know, they're playing football right now. But I guarantee you those fans know. That's
just like Alan Chadwick when Mark Davenport caught him right at the end of the half. He said, how about these conditions in the rain? And Alan Chadwick said, what, it's raining? I didn't even notice.
Right.
I mean, he's so focused, and the kids are so focused on the contest here.
Now Marist is going to spread it out now and go to the gun on second down. They've got 2 wide on each side, and we'll see how well Perez can handle throwing the ball in these conditions.
Yeah, Snellings and McNearney are down here on the bottom. They're the 2 wide on the bottom. And then they've got their tight end Crawford split out to the top along with Sullivan. And Crawford, they haven't thrown Crawford the ball at all this year, but he's a 2-star tight end. He's a pretty big prospect out there, number 81, and they like him. They feel like he's got soft hands. He plays basketball. They just don't get him the ball very often. We'll see if they go his way here in this situation. And the ball gets by Perez, and he has to hop on it at the 15-yard line.
I was noticing on the play before this, while the officials had the clock stop, they had the towel over the ball, and the towel was just as wet as the field.
Exactly, yeah.
So, as a coach and a player, in these conditions, no matter, what your best efforts are to keep everything dry, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's
ball's wet.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Your play sheet's wet. It's
Second down and long. They go back to the run there, and they get just a couple of yards on the play on the run to Connors. Actually, that was a run by Sullivan that time.
Well, they've still got time. I mean, Marist can come back from this. They've got to be careful here that they don't throw one down and get it picked off. I think they'd much rather have their kicker punting them out of this hole if they can't get a first down here.
So third down coming up. Perez is in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
Got leveled on the backside blitz. They never did see the linebacker coming.
Well, they did.
Torrin Davis.
Right. He walked up off the edge and brought it from the backside, and that, Perez just didn't have a chance.
Fourth down, and the War Eagles are going to have to punt right here. They can't even think about going for it. That would be suicide to any chances. I mean, I know the clock's ticking away on you, but if you give the ball up right here, you might as well concede it.
Yeah, Southwest DeKalb on that previous play dropped 8 into coverage. They only brought 3, but they dropped one of their linemen and then brought the corner off the edge.
Moore with the punt. Fair catch is called for and made. Now there should be a flag on that play.
Well, I don't think he tried to advance it. He looked to me like he was.
He just ran backwards.
Yeah.
So you can catch it and run backwards. You just can't catch it and run forward.
I don't think you can do that either.
I don't think you can either. That's why I'm saying I think there's supposed to be a flag on that play. If you catch the ball and run with it, if someone calls fair catch, there's supposed to be a penalty flag dropped, but they don't drop it. So timeout with 5:17 to play, and Southwest DeKalb leading 21-7. The water is flowing out of Halford Stadium like a waterfall. It's been that kind of a night. Let's check in with Mark Davenport if he's still alive down there.
Matt, I am barely alive. Honestly, this is a torrential downpour. Take a look at this. You were talking about the ball being a little wet before. This is the cloth that they're using to keep the ball dry. Look what I'm squeezing out of this cloth. I just took a shower, and this is what's happening here, Matt. This is something different. I built an ark. If you've got a couple animals you want to put on in there, we can take a sail in a minute.
You might want to start loading them up. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Ball at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10 for Southwest DeKalb, and there's Dixon slashing through the defense down to the 43-yard line. Let's take a look at the Region 6 Quad A standings, and the way things are shaping up will show you just how big a win this is going to be for Southwest DeKalb if we can. They will now be 7-0 in the region if they hold on to win here. Marist will drop to 6-1, and of course Southwest DeKalb still has Tucker and Stone Mountain to go. Tucker is leading Stone Mountain 7-0 in the 4th quarter. So basically, if Southwest DeKalb can hold on and win here tonight and beat Tucker next week, they'll win their first region championship since 2000.
Yeah, that's still a pretty tall order, though.
Yeah.
This is a very talented region for football. The Southwest and Tucker game is stacking up to be huge. There's also the possibility at the end of the year that you're going to have 3 teams tied. And,
yeah.
Then you have to get into that, that always bizarre tiebreaker.
Well, that's what would happen if Southwest DeKalb holds on to win tonight. And then if Tucker beats Southwest DeKalb next week, you have a 3-way tie. As you take a look at Southwest DeKalb, their remaining schedule, number 7 Tucker at 6-1 and Stone Mountain at 6-1. So it's tough. And Stone Mountain's not out of it. They're only trailing by a touchdown against Tucker, and they're still in the mix as well. Third down and 1. First down carry for the Panthers.
Yeah, Buck's doing a nice job with the offense right now. He's going to, tell the kids to control the football, and they're going to run it. He's going to run the clock down to about 20 seconds before they snap it. So he realizes that if they can hang on to the football now with the first down, they may have this one wrapped up. Matthew, the statistic that may ought to stand out to all of us tonight really is the fumbles. There's only been one that has changed possession in this game, and I think Marist lost the exchange, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think they came out of that okay. I thought there'd be a lot more tonight than there have been.
Handoff, Dixon got stuck in the middle that time and no running room. That's a great point, Coach. Considering the incredible rain that we've had here today, there have not been a lot of fumbles, just a very few. And the fumbles I think that we've had, as you take a look at the 278 rushing yards for Southwest DeKalb in this game, which is even higher than their 195 per game average.
Yeah.
And significantly higher than the amount of yards that Marist typically gives up, only 107 yards rushing per game. So you can see just how dominant the Panthers have been on the ground here tonight.
Well, this is two great football teams, and both of them have a chance to go deep in the playoffs. Both of these guys probably have a chance to win the whole thing if they can get a good draw and get on a roll. I know Allen's probably a little disappointed. Marist probably hasn't played quite up to Marist standards tonight, but you know, on the other hand, Southwest DeKalb has done a super job on defense, shutting down the run.
Yeah, and you know, the importance of that #1 seed, Coach, you know all about how important being a #1 seed, because that means you're at home for the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and possibly even the quarters and maybe even the semis. You might end up playing all your games at home all the way until you get to the Georgia Dome for the state championship game. And, you know, and Alan Chadwick talked about how important that was the last 3 times they've been a #1 seed going into the playoffs. No coincidence, they've gotten to the state championship game.
Yeah, he was quick to credit the seed with their success there, and I agree with him.
So a timeout with 1:53 to play, and Southwest DeKalb closing in on their first victory against Marist since 1973. Southwest DeKalb leading Marist 21-7. Be sure to vote in our second Fans Choice game. It's coming up on November 6th. The poll will reopen on Monday and go through Thursday at 6 o'clock. And then on Friday night, next Friday night at halftime, we will announce the winner. Here are the 5 games from which to choose: Peachtree Ridge and North Gwinnett, Roswell at Lassiter, East Paulding at Woodstock, North Clayton at Dutchtown, Southwest DeKalb at Stone Mountain. Log on starting Monday. The poll will reopen, and you'll be able to vote until Thursday at 6 o'clock. 4th down for the Panthers.
My guess is he'll just try to run some clock here and stay in bounds.
And Mincy just dancing around back there, and the ball is out, and Marist is going to get it. They were going to get it either way if they tackled him, and the ball comes out. Homrich recovers the fumble, and so they're a little bit closer, though. They actually lost some yardage, so 1:42 to play. They have it at their own 41. They're down 2 scores. Do the math. It's a near impossible situation for Marist, but not impossible.
Well, one play and an onside kick, you know. We'll see if they can come up with something here.
We saw last week a Walton team have a 28-7 lead on Centennial and lose the ball game in the 4th quarter. So
right.
Things can happen.
This is where you have to watch out for Stripling. He's so athletic off the edge.
Yeah, ball nearly intercepted by Torrin Davis on that play. Davis already has 1 pick 6 on the season. He took one back against Miller Grove. Nearly had one right there. 2nd down and 10. And a timeout called, perhaps?
Well, if it's Southwest DeKalb, that's their last. Oh, we got more flags coming off the sideline, I think. Matt from the Marist sideline.
Oh, they're trying to fix the clock. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. They want to put, I think they want to put 8 seconds back up, or maybe just 3. It's up to 120. I thought they signaled 125, but. Let's check in with Mark Davenport down on the sideline.
Hey, Matt, Coach Godfrey, that name can be pretty much synonymous with overcoming adversity. At halftime, it was 1 point. We're talking Marist had that 7-6 lead. That was nothing. 1 point is absolutely nothing. Listen to this, Matt. His first season, he went 10-3. He only had 3 assistant head coaches. He was the first black coach in Southwest DeKalb history. And that was just football. Let's go into academically. He had his car key stolen from his desk. His car disappeared. And then his classroom was burned down. Matt, he also overcame prostate cancer in the past 2 years. This guy knows a lot about overcoming adversity. And 1 point was absolutely nothing at halftime.
Good point, Mark. And you're right. I mean, he was not exactly welcome when he first got the job at Southwest DeKalb back in 1983. We asked him, did you ever think you'd be here 27 years later? He said, look, when I first got the job here, the way I was treated, I was thinking I need to get out of here as quick as I can. But he stuck it out. He's had job offers to go other places. He has stayed here. And I think the point that you made, Coach McFarland, off the top was perhaps the most valid point in regard to Coach Godfrey. He doesn't measure success a lot of coaches will say this, but I think it's true with Godfrey. He doesn't measure success necessarily by the score on the scoreboard. He measures it 15, 20 years down the road when he's able to reflect on the kids' lives that he was able to mold. Those kids go on to college and get their degrees, and football is a big reason why they were able to do that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Buck is a coach who's much more focused on being significant than successful. The other day when we talked to him on the phone, immediately into the conversation, he was talking about which kids were, on the honor roll and which ones were, had academically made great improvement. And he talks very little about himself in those circumstances. So I'm impressed with the job that Buck's done here. Good for him. I know he had a chance to go to MLK when they opened it up, and he didn't. He stayed here at Southwest DeKalb, and this is his home. And he's got a really good football team again this year.
Yeah, and they're back.
Yeah, they are.
I think we can officially say Southwest DeKalb back with this victory here tonight. They float the pass out there, complete to Sullivan, and Sullivan is dropped at the 38-yard line, well short of the first down, and the clock will continue to run. But it's been they haven't had a double-digit win since 1999, but they're well on their way here this season. This will put them at 7-1, and a good opportunity. They will make the state playoffs. A strong run there. They're going to get at least 10 and more victories this season.
They are, and this game's going to benefit both teams, Matt. It's going to help Southwest DeKalb certainly, because now they have a lot of momentum going into the Tucker game. But, I tell you what Marist is going to do here, too. Marist is going to take this, and it'll be a great learning situation for them. At this point in the season, this is not a devastating loss. This is something that will help them. And, so many times you see teams take a loss mid-season or late in the season, and then they respond to make a great run in the playoffs. And I'm sure Marist will do the same.
Terrence Smith just had his 10th quarterback sack of the season coming off the edge there. But the penalty is going to be on Southwest DeKalb, so going to give a lot of those yards back, and it's going to be 4th down, under a minute to play here. It's just been a terrible night. And there is the backup kicker for the Southwest DeKalb Panthers, number 20, Ashley Collins, who is a senior here at Southwest DeKalb. Didn't get a chance to get on the field and kick here tonight, but she's had a little kicking action this season. So
I bet she has her own dressing room.
I bet she does too. Perez scrambling on 4th down, throwing downfield and incomplete, trying to get it to McNerney. Ashley before the game was out there working out with the team. Well, trust me, she was. So the ball goes over on downs, and we just have 37 seconds left to kill in this one. There's Ashley working out before the game. Good for her. I mean, that's a tough environment.
Yeah, good for Buck, allowing her to play. And of course, you wouldn't want to keep anybody from playing, but, good for him to recognize the fact that this young lady wants to be a part of high school football, and he's got a place for her.
Seems like she's a little embarrassed by the camera. Well, congratulations to Buck Godfrey here tonight. Another big win. DeKalb County's all-time winningest coach. 247th victory here tonight. Let's check out the score, ATL.com scoreboard. Grayson killing Meadow Creek 35-0 at the half. North Gwinnett, big lead on North Forsyth in the 4th. Noonan beats Pebblebrook 26-0. Lowndes over Houston County 35-0. McEachern clobbers Harrison 38-8. Peachtree Ridge and a tight one over South Forsyth. A touchdown win there as the final seconds tick off here. Camden County beat Jenkins 50-0. Woodstock leading Cherokee as the final seconds tick off. Congratulations, it's official. Southwest DeKalb has beaten Marist for the first time since 1973. Back when our producer Steve Graham was a young sophomore Panther. It's been a long time. Of course, they haven't played every year since 1973, but Southwest DeKalb takes the driver's seat in Region 6 Quad A, and they've got a big one coming up next week against the Tucker Tigers. We'll come back and wrap things up from Hallford Stadium in just a moment. Number 3, Southwest DeKalb, a 21-7 victory over number 5, Marist, as the Panthers are now 7-0 in Region 6 Quad A. And congratulations to our Nissan player of the game, Ken Malcolm, the running back committed to the University of Georgia, 180 yards rushing, including a 74-yard touchdown for the Panthers. First score of the night. He is our Nissan player of the game, and he didn't even get to play much of the fourth quarter because of his injury to his left leg. He had a little bit of a cramp there, and hopefully he's going to be okay and ready to go. I think actually his right leg ready to go next week against the Tucker Tigers. Let's take a look back at the Comcast play of the game, and for that it was the backbreaker for the Panthers. We take you to the 8.5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Panthers 3 of 7 in this contest.
Oh, great play by Marist on the perimeter.
Mincy cutting back, making
goodness.
something happen. Touchdown, Jonathan Mincy. They had him, and Mincy was able to shake himself free for the touchdown. 20-yard touchdown run for Jonathan Mincy. That made it 21-7, the final score, capping a 4-play, 59-yard drive. Let's go down on the field, and Mark Davenport, who's earned his pay tonight, is standing by with Buck Godfrey.
Hey, Matt, down here with Coach. Coach, congratulations on the win tonight. What did you guys do differently here in the second half to pull this one off?
Well, we, as you can see, we controlled the clock by running the football. We thought we could come off on them and actually beat them physically and break their wheels, so that's what we did.
Running the football, talk about Ken Malcolm. How's he feeling right now?
He's going to be fine. I mean, tomorrow morning I have him at the rehab place, and he'll be okay. He's a tough kid.
Now, you guys have a tough schedule coming up. It's no gimmies at the end of the season. Talk to me about how to get to the state playoffs from here.
Well, I mean, these games like this just prepare you for a better playoff. I mean, if you play a soft schedule going to the playoffs, you normally get knocked out first, second round. So this is preparing us for the next level.
Coach, congratulations once again. Get warm, get inside. How about it, huh? Matt, back upstairs to you.
All right, thank you, Mark, and appreciate you hanging in down there in the bad weather tonight. Tim, a big victory for Southwest DeKalb. 21-7 is the final on the scoreboard, and really, as you reflect on the game, it probably wasn't even that close.
No, it really wasn't. Some of the penalties that they had early in the game took scores off the board. And, Southwest DeKalb just, they had a few too many guns tonight.
Yeah, Southwest DeKalb, an impressive team, and maybe a team that can compete for the state championship here in 2009. Tim, good working with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was nice to be dry tonight.
Yeah, we'll do it again in a couple of weeks. Join us next Friday night. Our Nissan Game of the Week will come to you from Marietta as Roswell plays at Walton next Friday night at 7:30. And now for Coach Tim McFarland, Mark Davenport, our producer Steve Graham, and the entire CSS team, I'm Matt Stewart. Good night from DeKalb County, where the number 3 Southwest DeKalb Panthers win it 21-7.